Sit tight.
He pulls that bar to the sky.
I got into powerlifting after years of being a triathlete, which is swim, bike, and run in one race. And I was really, really skinny. I was about 180 pounds at 6'2". And I was really unconfident in myself. And I just decided I wanted to take a different route in my training and really got into strength training and then eventually found my way into powerlifting.
When it comes to Adam specifically, the one thing that I've noticed like right off the bat that differentiates Adam from other people is his ability to separate his mind categorically. He's extremely self-aware of where he's at physically, mentally. Like, he's very compartmentalized his brain to know like when he's going to feel at certain times. So when he's at the gym and he's like lifting and everything's going fine and there's no real sign of anything going wrong, he knows if there's something that's off that he could be doing better, improving and stuff like that. And he lets me know.
I started powerlifting when I was around 18, 19 years old. I was working at another gym and I kind of just started doing it on my own, just wanting to gain some muscle and be as strong as I could be. In those earlier days, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of lifting weights how I thought you should as a powerlifter. But I just sort of started experimenting with it, started running different programs, and then I eventually got a coach, and it was all steady progress from there.
Adam had a really hard time benching for a while. He had like this bad shoulder like positioning and just injuries and a lot of stuff was stopping him from benching. I think there was a lot of mental blockage that was also stopping him from benching, and he was struggling to get over a certain amount of weight. I think it was like we're looking at like 260 or something like that. Now he's pushing a 400 bench. Like, he's already hit 300. I think he's already hit 350. I'm pretty sure now he's like getting in on a 400 bench. And that was like, he went from almost never benching and like never touching the lift at all to doing that in like 4 months, which is a huge achievement, not only for him, but it's also just like for his entire career. Like, now he's getting stronger in the lift that he's the weakest in. Now he's at a point in his career where he's just tweaking good lifts and getting stronger as he's doing it. It's really, it's pretty impressive.
So my training regimen, it differs from day to day. On Monday, I'll squat, bench. Tuesday, I do deadlifts, and I deal with back problems. So that day is just dedicated to not conditioning, but training, where I'm strengthening my lower back, so it's not a problem. Wednesdays, I bench again, and then I do my pull accessories, back and biceps. Thursdays, I squat and do legs. Friday, I bench and do push accessories. And then Saturday, I deadlift, bench, and do push accessories. I bench 4 times a week, squat and deadlift twice a week.
When you go to powerlifting and you're like setting yourself up to be a certain type of lifter, you go at each lift with your own ambitions and your own ideas. But ultimately, in the end, it's, can you get to the same product as everybody else, or is your product going to be a lot worse? And what do you need to do to make sure that it doesn't become worse? What do you need to do to make sure that it becomes the best version of itself? I think that sort of also leans into the whole, like, is the sport safe? Although powerlifting is very, very simple, a lot of people will call it a very unsafe sport. I don't think it's a very unsafe sport. I think it's a sport where you have to be very cautious.
Last December, I wrecked my back. There's no other way to put it. I was deadlifting and just something went wrong. And it took me up until last month to get better. So 7 months of rehab and recovery, on and off training, not being able to lift to my full potential, but just really, really bad pain. And everything we did, we couldn't figure out. Luckily, I was able to find someone that was able to sort of fix it, a good chiropractor, and still work with him just to maintain it and keep it going. But yeah, that was the biggest challenge I ever faced.
He's also very aware of his life like outside of the gym. He's managed to do everything that he wants to do without compromising on still being successful in the gym, and I admire that, because it's extremely, I find it extremely difficult nowadays to be able to kind of have a life where you're able to not only work well but have friendly relationships and hobbies and go to the gym at the same time. A lot of people these days pick the gym as their one and only like free time usage.
Qualifying for the nationals was absolutely huge for me. I still remember like almost crying after, because it was just something I wanted to do so much. Making myself proud is, I would consider, an achievement, because I was lifting numbers I had never done before and only dreamed of doing, and it's just brought me so much happiness and joy, especially having all my loved ones and friends and family there to support me. I hope to be remembered as an athlete that represented Team Canada. Being considered one of, like, if you were to ever be considered one of the greatest athletes of all time in Canada, you usually think of hockey and those sort of sports, basketball as well. If I could ever get to the level where I was recognized that, and I gave powerlifting that sort of attention that it deserved, that would be the dream come true. Don't give up and just keep working. Your numbers, when it comes to your squat, bench, and deadlift, what they are now is so minute to what they can be in the future, as long as you keep going and you just don't give up on yourself. You're gonna be harder on yourself than anyone else, and that's okay. But the most important thing is just keep going.